Today, let's talk about where great men come from, and I'm going to read you from 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 12, which reads this. So he sent and brought him in. Now he was ruddy, with bright eyes, and good looking. And the Lord said, Arise, anoint him, for this is the one. I heard a story once about some tourists from a big city who stopped at a gas station on a country road. They looked around at the small town and they wondered if anything important ever came from that place. So the traveling man from the city called out to an older man who was in bib overalls. Hey, mister, he said, anyone famous ever born here? The old man didn't miss a beat. He said, no, only babies were born here. Now, the greatest king Israel ever recognized was David, son of Jesse. He grew up in a world of hand-me-downs and put-downs from 7 older brothers. Yet even as a young man, David was described as a man after God's own heart. How did he get to that place? Well, he didn't necessarily look the part. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 12 tells us that David was ruddy with bright eyes and good looking. This means that he had a fair complexion. This is probably the meaning of ruddy. And a light complexion was considered attractive in that culture. He also had bright eyes, which speak of vitality and intelligence. And he was also good looking. You see, David looked nice, but you didn't look at him and say, there's a born leader, there's a king. That's what people said when they looked at Saul. When they looked at David, they said, that's a nice looking boy. By all outward appearance, David's 7 brothers seemed better material for royalty. Yet, as unlikely as David was, he was the one. It was strange for God to find the king of Israel at a sheepfold. But let me tell you something. It was even stranger for the Savior of the world to come from a carpenter's shop. God looks for different qualities in leaders than what we normally look for. You see, David was a shepherd, but there were a lot of shepherds. David was good looking, but so were a lot of young men. David was young, but there were plenty of young men that God could have chosen. God described